So, Cade, 6-4 is a start for the Buccaneers this year. How would you assess so far the way the team is going?
Yeah, I think we have great players, great
Mhm.
staff, the ability to win the Super Bowl. And I think that the thing that we need to do now is just find some consistency, putting together full games of complementary football, offense, defense, special teams, and that's a challenge going forward, especially against a good team Sunday night. But I know we have the ability to do it.
Year four for you. How do you continue to grow mentally and stay focused throughout a season like this one?
Um, the long seasons are always a challenge, but definitely as the years have gone on, just being more comfortable where I am and my spot in the team, and growing as a leader, it all factors into the challenge of winning games in the NFL, and that's the ultimate focus is just how are we going to win the game this week, and that keeps you locked in enough for the long haul to try and get better each and every week for the good of the team.
Okay. Your position, the tight end position requires you in this scheme of the offense that you guys run to run block a lot. Do you take pride in that?
Absolutely. We talk about in our tight end room just being the fixers of the offense.
Okay.
You need someone to block the edge over here. We can do that. You need someone to chip over here. We can do that. Or pass block, or on a short route, run a deep route. We take pride in being able to do all those things, and it's definitely a unique position on the offense and in football in general. And we have a lot of fun with it for sure.
When I watch your game film, I see a lot of effort and I see you finishing blocks. Do you talk about it with your offensive lineman? Like, hey, I got a pancake on this one. I was able to kick out on a good block. Does that happen?
Yeah, our coaches do a great job of emphasizing that. Actually, you know, this Friday meeting we go over the previous week. We call it strain, just straining towards the end of the whistle, towards the ball, wherever that is. And as an offense, we take a lot of pride in that, and definitely as a tight end room, we do as well.
When there's a run play called towards your side, and you have to do a combo block or a dual block with either Gorecki or Tristan on the other side, can you walk me through that mindset? Is this something like you break and what goes on through your head there?
Yeah, when I'm working with one of those two guys who are two of the best in the league, my thought is we have to crush this guy. Like
Right.
if we're working two guys on one, we got to get a ton of movement and make sure that guy doesn't want to see it again. So that's kind of the mentality going to it, and then also keeping an eye on the second level player we're working to.
Now, your O-line unit, do they consider you part of the O-line unit? Because I've always noticed that some tight ends are yes involved with the O-line group, and some are like, okay, you're a part of it, but not 100%.
They embrace us as a tight end room, which I really appreciate. We try to take on the same mentality. They're definitely specialists in what they do on the football field, and so I can appreciate that. But they do a good job of welcoming us tight ends into it.
Week 10, you had a season high 9 receptions versus the Patriots. How important is it when your numbers call to kind of perform on the offensive rhythm side? How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel great to be involved in the offense. At the same time, I always just want to do my job and be in the right spot for Baker or for a run play or whatever it is. And again, that's just taking pride in doing whatever the team needs for us or needs us to do. And that week got more targets, and other weeks might not, and that just is what it is. But when the ball is thrown my way, I always want to make a play.
Speaking of your quarterback, Baker Mayfield, he seems to play with a chip on the shoulder, with a certain attitude that kind of is embraced among all your roster. Um, what makes him a great leader?
I think first of all, it's just his personability. Like he talks with everyone. He's super nice. He isn't he doesn't think of himself as better than everyone. He's humble, but at the same time, he's working hard. He's doing whatever it takes to win. He's holding people accountable, and everyone just clings to that. And I think as a team, we kind of take on his personality, and we'll continue to do that.
When you first met Baker, can you take me back to that first conversation you had with him as a playmaker on this roster?
I think, first of all, we just like introduced ourselves, but kind of talking football with him, you can tell he's just so detailed and, wants to have full control of the offense and know where people are moving. And he's just been such a great communicator as well. That's another thing about him. And from the time I met him until now, that's just been proven true over and over.
When you study film, and for this matchup coming up against the Rams, what jumps out at you from this defensive unit that's going to be playing in front of you?
Yeah, as tight ends, we're going to deal with their defensive ends a lot, and they're really great players. They're physical, they're twitchy, they're aggressive to the ball, and as tight ends, we just got to be really locked in on our technique and match that physicality if we're gonna block them well, and that would be a great challenge. And then overall, as a defense, they play fast to the ball, play really hard, and I really respect that about them. And again, we talk about the strain on our side of the ball and getting towards the ball, and we got to match and exceed that.
How was it playing for your grandfather, Sid, back in Washington, who's a legend when it comes to high school sports back then?
Yeah, I hear some, people's negative experiences about playing for, their grandpa or their dad or whatever, but mine was just the opposite of that. I loved every second of it. He treated me fairly, treated everyone fairly, and just was an awesome coach and man, and really emphasized, having principles off the field, just being responsible, respectable, being competitive, being accountable, all those types of things. And it just set me up for the rest of my career in life, having a foundation of being a part of that program.
Well, you mentioned, Cade, all the values that is needed in a football player. What was the greatest advice he ever gave you?
The pillar of the program was never give up, never give up. And, whether that's a play, whether that's a season, whether that's life, that's just a thing I take with me wherever I go is, never give up, keep pressing, keep competing. And he's definitely instilled that in me.
Well, what an honor. What an honor to hear that from a legendary person that really changed the sport up in Washington.
Yeah.
Your gloves, man. What about your gloves? Are you any gloves coming up soon, or are you going to keep it natural?
I try not to be prideful about that, and I want to do what helps me play football the best, and that's just how I've always played. I've tried gloves off and on throughout my years playing, but I guess I'll blame my dad to start, because he didn't buy me gloves like in third grade, and that's how I just started playing. But yeah, that's just how I feel comfortable playing football, and I like to feel the ball. I like to feel little scratches on my hands. I don't know if that's weird.
Oh, that's very respectful. As most playmakers, have to have the gloves, maybe switch them out every quarter or so, and you keep it basic and you keep it real. Now, okay, do you do your own taping? Like, do your wrist and your fingers, or is this something that the trainers kind of know what to do?
The trainers do my wrists, and then I do my fingers. Yeah, it's kind of a little tradition.
There we go.
Before games.
There we go. 50 seasons for the Buccaneers. Big celebration, important year for your organization. In another 50 years, how would you like to be remembered here with this organization?
Super Bowl winners, for sure. I think that would be really special to win it in the 50th year. And like I said, I don't think that's unrealistic for us. We have the players, we have the coaches, and it's just going to come down to playing our best football down the stretch. And if we can do that, I think we have a great shot at it.
Your top 5 current tight ends, and you could include yourself in this list, or you could not include yourself in the list. Who would those players be?
I'll leave myself out just for the rankings, but I have a lot of respect for George Kittle and all that he's done. I've been watching him for a long time, doing his thing. And TJ Hawkinson has done a great job. Let's see. Yeah, it's hard to rank them in order. Sam Laporta has done a great job early in his career.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Bowers,
Yeah.
Been really impressive to start his career. It's fun seeing a lot of great young tight ends coming into the game, really, raising the profile of the position. And round out the list, I feel like I'm going to miss someone. I'll say, I'll throw Cole Kmet in there. I just have a lot of respect for how he plays the game, plays a lot of snaps, blocks well, makes plays when the ball's thrown his way.
He's also having a great season.
Yeah, he is.
Like you are. So that's a very interesting list, man. That you took yourself out of it and put 5 current players that are really pushing that needle towards your position.
Yeah.
That's excellent to hear. Here we'll play GM. You're the GM, you have no budget, and you have to bring back and play with a retired quarterback. Who would that be?
Man, I got to play with Tom already, so that was
check.
No, that's check.
It's a big check, right?
Yeah. Retired quarterback. I mean, to round out a legendary list, I'd say Joe Montana.
Okay. That's definitely the big dog there.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
What about the running back position? Who would you unretire and play with?
Walter Payton.
Okay.
Yes. Love. Yeah, I watched a ton of NFL Network when I was a kid, and they'd have old reruns of games and A Football Life and some of those documentaries, and Walter Payton always stood out to me as an incredible player.
What about the wide receiver position? Who would you like to be partnered up with?
And growing up, I loved Calvin Johnson. Just the way Megatron played the game as a receiver, I just thought was so different than kind of the picture, the generic picture you get of receivers, like prima donnas and soft, but he was something else.
What about offensive tackle? Who would you like to be paired up with? You already mentioned you got 2 of the best, and Luke and Tristan. Somebody else.
Oh man. Somebody else. Offense tackle. I'll go with Walter Jones. Being from Seattle, legend, did it so well for so long.
Yeah.
Definitely Walter Jones.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this is my last question to you. Mike Cos, Mike Leeds, how dear is that to your family and your heart?
Yeah, definitely really close to my heart. My mom dealt with Parkinson's when she was alive and passed away around 4 years ago. And, she was a warrior. She was a competitor, and, just raised me so well and so lovingly. And so I've gotten the chance a couple times to honor her with my cleats on an NFL field, which she was one of the people who inspired me to have this dream to play this game. And, to be able to, I think about her before every game and write a little note on my wrist that some things she would say to me. And, to be able to do that on my cleats as well once a year is awesome.
Okay, we congratulate you on an excellent season. We wish you the best of luck. Stay healthy, my friend, and thank you for joining us here on CNF.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Ya que nos encontraste, no nos pierdas.
Suscríbete al canal de YouTube de Telemundo Deportes.